and financial markets. He also has significant experience in the telecommunication sector. Previous to his many cloud computing roles in IBM, John led a pan-European team building infrastructures to support clients' big data and advanced analytical workloads. Over his time at IBM, John has led initiatives around hybrid systems, computational acceleration, grid computing, energy efficiency, and mission-critical systems. John is a member of the IBM Academy of Technology and a fellow of both the Institute for Engineering and Technology and the British Computer Society. Wow, what an amazing set of accomplishments. Can only imagine how many happy clients and in turn their customer John has enabled. Welcome and thank you for joining us, John. Kale, after earning his bachelor's degree in computer science from the University of Florida, Kale joined IBM in 2020. Kale works as an automation developer, providing containerized platform applications used across the application business unit. At IBM, Kale has uncovered his interest in SRE as a career path through his passion for automation and system thinking. I think Kale has been very humble here. I add a couple more. Kale was actually one of the first in our organization to complete the IBM Site Reliability Engineering Profession certification. It is a professional certification, and the IBM Cloud SRE certification is one of the journey he had to complete to accomplish that. Very well done, Kale, and what an amazing start to your career. Thank you for joining us today. The main focus for this webcast is hints and tips for IBM Cloud SRE certification, but we thought it'd be good and helpful to also look at the evolving role of SRE and how the skills are applicable and practical as you work on certification. When I was asked to speak to the evolving role of SRE, I thought it'd be good to look at how it is typically represented and where I see the most impactful way SRE can have demonstrate success to both the business and clients. It's good to start with perhaps an icebreaker. Some of you may recognize this, Gilbert, and what the original techie word was. I thought it is also very applicable for SRE. The net takeaway and the anti-pattern to learn here is, so SRE is growing in the industry. Just by saying it doesn't mean we can magically get the outcome and making it real. Without proper buy-in and leadership support, it will be difficult to gain any meaningful traction and with little outcome to show for. I would actually love to hear if any of you have experienced that as well. Let us know with the survey below. Thank you. When talking about SRE, what I'm showing here is likely something you have seen before, and this is a typical representation of SRE roles in an organization. That is, SRE evolved from sysadmin and other to work with development to resolve conflicts by defining SLO and using our budgets to balance features, velocity, as well as reliability. While the Google-like representation is usually shown when one speaks of SRE, I find I usually get more engagement with a life cycle Mobius loop to discuss SRE, especially when I try to convince people and teams outside our operations the value of SRE to them. This chart shows where people usually find SRE resides, that is, in the operate and monitor phase, or keep the lights on phase of the life cycle. This leads to the design pattern that the evolving SRE role fits in. The patterns are that SRE needs to be supported by all the roles in the organization and given the right prioritization. In my experience, this means people not only stop debating if SRE is needed, but also give it the right priority, alongside features in a single backlog. This leads to SRE as a discipline that is applied in the entire solution lifecycle. With the design pattern in place, this is what the evolved role of SRE will look like. I will go into each of the steps, but you can see the SRE discipline and skills are applicable in the entire solution lifecycle, and more importantly, not only work by someone with the operation hat, but with everyone involved to set requirements, architect, build, and deliver the solution. This is the call to action. As you get into learning the skills for SRE, think of not just how you can apply it in your role, but also how you can enable and influence others to gain that discipline. Now you may ask, how we make that SRE lifecycle real? I first had this dialogue after I successfully convinced management and leadership that SRE will help them. This leads to the tenets of SRE. Not that. And this leads to the tenets of SRE. Especially in large organizations, the way to make things real versus like the deal of simply saying techy words are to make them actionable. In other words, having epics and stories created to progress on the maturity in each of the tenets. You can see the tenets are not always technical, and in many cases are to enable the process. By having SRE maturity progression captured by tenets, it also enables teams